Junie, working on Summer's charts since I accidentally deleted everything. I have to run downstairs and get my charger, so I'll be right back while you guys are coming in. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So, hey Aggie, it's good to see you. Thanks for popping in. So I did map out her address here. Also mapped out Warrior's Path, where they went swimming. So I'm really curious to see where the map comes up with that. I'm going to try to, I'm not really sure how I'm going to layer this yet, but I am going to layer it in a way that I want to incorporate the 3 o'clock chart, because that's when I think Summer really gets in trouble as far as the astrology is concerned. Okay, after 3, things get really touchy for Summer. Okay, you know, of course we want to keep hope alive. Of course we want to think of Summer Wells as alive and well and living her best life. But you know, I have to tell you guys that on the astrology, it is a timestamp of when, you know, you know, it just shows that she's in trouble, okay? As far as the astrology is concerned, because we have the planet Pluto in Capricorn. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and we know that Saturn rules the physical body. He rules the skeleton, the skin, the hair, the teeth, the nails. And that is when Pluto shows up on the charts, okay? So it's a little bit after 3 that I feel like Summer might be in trouble. I'm going to run downstairs and grab the computer charger. I'll be right back. Oh, you guys want to talk to the spirits while I go downstairs? I can put them on for a second if you want to talk to them. But then I'll have to turn them off when I get back. Well, I'm only going to run downstairs for a second. I better not get too ADD and get too distracted. Hey, Susie Q. It's good to see you. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to run downstairs and grab the computer charger. Here is the book that we're going to be using today. Kirsty McIntosh's book. And Forensic Astrology for Everyone. These 2 books here. Okay, those are my main go-to books. You can buy these books on Amazon. All right, both of the covers fell off my books. This book lost its cover too now, so it's falling off too. It's falling. My books are falling apart. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I hope more people showed up. I just had to run downstairs and get the computer charger. I hope the dog didn't knock anything over. She just jumped on the bed. I'm upstairs hiding in the back room, my daughter's room, because it's the most quiet room back here. Oops. Okay. All right. Yay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hey, Brooke. Hi, Criminal Justice True Crime. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hi, Luca. Good to see you. Oh, you don't know what bubblegum is, pink or brown? I don't know. I guess it depends on what's in your mouth. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get... All right, can you guys see it? The screen? Okay. Maybe I'll try to darken it. Trying to mess with the lighting a little bit. I always felt like if it's darker, you guys can see better, but maybe not. Okay. All right, so this is Summer's little house right here. So remember in Kirsty's book, when she teaches us how to map, on Kirsty's channel, Criminal Astrology, she has a channel here on YouTube. She teaches us how to do these maps, okay? This is her book, Criminal Astrology for Everyone, by Kirsty McIntosh. Again, you got to remember the cheat sheet. Here is my cheat sheet that's in her book that I use. Cancer is at a 90 degrees. Aries is at a 0 degrees. Sagittarius is at 240 degrees. Okay. Libra at 180 degrees. So I leave this out. Always make sure you have a piece of paper and make sure that your dog doesn't put its butt on it. Daisy, Daisy, you gotta move. Daisy, up. Hold on, my dog's laying on my paper. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna try to, see, this is when I can get in trouble and then I end up leaving comments on Kirsty's account like, I'm drowning, I made a mess. But hopefully I'm not gonna make a mess this time because, whoopsies, you guys just fell. Hold on. Oh. As I just drop you all. Sorry. You guys still there? Okay. I just dropped you. Sorry. Okay. So, hopefully I won't make a mess of it this time. And, what I want to do is calculate the miles of when she gets in trouble about 3 o'clock. Okay, when I think that the planets are telling us that Summer is in trouble. Here. Because Capricorn is in Pluto. Right here. Pluto is at 26 degrees. So if I'm going to use Pluto as a mile marker, that could be 2.6 miles or 26 miles. can also use the IC as a mile marker of 15 miles up to 1.5 miles. So Neptune 2.3 miles, 23 miles. You could look at it like that. See, these could be used as mile markers. Why? Because they're in this, well, first of all, they're in this yod, and if you look at it, they're really close together. And in this yod, we do have mother and father. Now, I have shown you before that Don's asteroid shows up right next to the moon, along with another violent suspect that I can't give you guys that name of, but I've been working on him with Missy. He shows up in between Don and Candace as well. And then I have all kinds of people showing up in the first house with Candace. I have Jody Sue, Andy Bernard, and Hunter. They're kind of sort of clumped together over in here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to map out everyone's asteroids, guys, because honestly, there's just too many of them. I have at least between 20 and 30 people of names that I'm looking up in the database to see if they have an asteroid that, you know, matches them. I think I did show you guys before, you know, Don Wells shows up as, you know, he's in an awkward spot, to say the least. And remember, everyone mentioned on this channel is innocent until proven guilty. I'm not saying that the parents are guilty, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the moon represents the mother and summer. The moon represents the mother because the moon is ruling a child that's under 5. So it's a second indicator of summer, but it also is a mother in a child's chart. Especially in a child's chart, we want to look at planets that can represent mothers and fathers, okay? Also here, please be advised of my copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107, copyright allowance is made for fair use contents, purposes such as criticism, commentary, reporting, teaching, research, scholarship, and all that fun stuff, okay? You guys get it. But yeah, so I did show you guys before in the database that we do have an asteroid, Don Wells. And that asteroid does show up, you know, right on top of the moon at a 27 degrees of Leo. And the fixed star to 27 degrees of Leo, if we look in Kirsty's book, so the moon is at 25 at one point at Leo, and then Candace is at 27 degrees of Leo at one point as well in the charts. So we'll just go over what these fixed stars mean for summer. Remember, this does not mean that the parents are guilty. I'm not accusing them of doing anything. I'm just telling you what the astrology says. It's really not my job to judge them. It's only my job to tell you what these placements mean and where they're at, okay? That's what my job is to do. I have my own personal opinions about the family. So here is what the book says. Now, you guys can Google this yourselves. You go to the database of fixed stars, and Don Wells was at 27 degrees of Leo. And we have a few 27 degrees of Leo, okay? So, knowledge of human nature, strong passions, lack of self-control, immortality. Hold on, you're falling. Sorry, every time the dog moves back here, the whole bed shakes. Okay. 27 degrees of Leo, immortality, sudden death by poison or drowning. Problems with the law, love affairs, drugs. Okay? Now here, 27 degrees Leo is crime, lying, and stealing, and the S word, okay? So, prone to violence. It's not a very good fixed star position for the parents to show up in. And Candace shows up at 27 degrees of Leo and 25 degrees of Leo. So, so I could read this for Candace up here where it says 25, 22nd degrees, own worst enemy, 24th degrees of Leo, strength, plunder, swagger, yet simple, and without goal. I'm not sure. These words are like from old school. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the best. It's not the best, guys, okay? So, 27 degrees Leo for both parents to show up in at one point during the day after 3, it's not good, okay? Does that mean that they're guilty? No, of course not. All right? This is just astrology. Please form your own opinions and come to your own conclusions about astrology. But it is interesting that it's showing up like that for them. So, now that's Dawn's asteroid shows up at 27 degrees of Leo. Okay? So, all right, so let's start doing some mile markers here. So, our first one I'll do is 1.5 to 15. We want to make sure that we're on imperial, guys, okay? So when you guys start doing this, make sure you're clicked on imperial measurements. All right, and 1.3. Now this is at 3, okay? This is at 3 o'clock. Remember, Kirsty McIntosh has done a map already for summer. She has a map already uploaded on her channel of the 911 call. So my first map I'm going to do is the 3 o'clock chart, and then I'll try to make it another color is what I want to do, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. See if I can make my circles different colors, but it doesn't. I really haven't figured out how to use this program yet, but I would like to do different colors. Because then I can have one color for 3 o'clock, and then I can have another color for, 6:30 when the 911 call comes in. So this is going to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to take it to 103. Try to make it more centered. Everybody doing okay? Try the pinnacle at the top to change the color. Yeah. Oh, this thing here? Oh my God! Oh, wait. It changes the whole circle color. Wait. I don't know. I'm going to have to try to mess with it. This isn't the easiest program to work with, to be honest with you guys. It's kind of really hard. I hope you guys don't mind the air conditioner being so loud, but it is really hot. Thank you. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. I'm really like not. I don't consider myself like a YouTuber, guys, yet. I'm really I'm really a kind of fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. I'm doing all this on a cell phone, so you have to like hit that little button on your screen to make it bigger. I did buy you guys a speaker, not like a really expensive speaker, but I just got this little thing on Amazon for the Spirit Box sessions. I just have to figure out how to do the Bluetooth thing, and we can hopefully listen to the spirits more. I tried to do it for a personal reading, but it didn't turn on. I couldn't get the spirits to talk through the speaker. So I don't know what's gonna go. It's not that loud? Okay, good. Welcome, Flying Doves. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Okay. So the other mile marker I wanted to mark was Pluto, 2.6, because I also think in the 630 911 chart, 2.6 miles is another timestamp that's on that chart too. So Pluto being at the 26 degrees, I don't know. I just feel like it's important. I don't know. Can you guys kind of tell why I think it's important? It's hard to explain. Just that, I mean, look at this. Like, 25, right? 24 in the finger of God. This is the finger of fate, the finger of God. 26. I mean, like, I can't make that shit up, right? I mean, and then Neptune's at 23. 23, 24, 25, 26. Neptune isn't good for crime either, for a missing child. So, and here, summer is Venus. And our open enemy to summer is Aries, which can rule a car. Mars can be a car. And head injuries above the eyebrow as well. Kind of explain to you about where I feel like she's very hot here because of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. Mars has some heat to it as well. Mars rules like sunburns to the face. Leo can be like sunburns on the face. Mars can be like acid burns, chemical burns, where the skin gets hot and irritated. I just feel like here she's very uncomfortable, okay? And she'll be going into Mars soon. So there's a transition that's getting ready to happen. But because Pluto is down here in the 4th house, that's in the womb and in the tomb, you know, how this is going to turn out. The end of the matter, basically, is Pluto. The end of the matter, okay? And Saturn is in there at the end of the matter in Aquarius, which could be an accident, which could be just something completely unexpected, tragedy, okay? Just something tragic happens. And I feel like this is a very important time in this chart for this child, okay? Plus, I have Uranus, which rules a tragic event, sitting in the house of death. That's Uranus sitting in the house of death. So, I feel like she's in danger here. So, any of these numbers could be a mile marker for me. 23, 24, 25, 26. So, you know, it is difficult to try to figure out which mile marker I want to use. But 26 is a mile marker that keeps appearing on the 911 chart as well. So, that's why I'm going to stick with 26, okay? Thanks, Brooke. I appreciate that. I'm still learning though, guys. I mean, I'm not an expert. I have a lot to learn. I am dancing on the tip of an iceberg compared to what some of the other astrologers out here on YouTube know, okay? I have a lot to learn, but I will correct myself. I mean, I'm going to fall flat on my face, guys. I'm going to make mistakes. So just be ready for them, okay? Like, I am really on a learning curve. But I've actually done pretty good so far predicting things. Predicting is very difficult in astrology. And then predicting future outcomes is very difficult. Like, I'm just now starting to learn how to look at, like, horary astrology, trying to ask the universe a question and then pull a chart on that question. I'm just now learning how to do that. And, you know, it is difficult. But so far I've done pretty good. And then to do, you know, to pull up a crime time. I mean, because basically this is what we're doing. It's not a natal chart, but it's a time of an event, of a crime. So you're telling the story. You're telling a story of a crime using the planets. Okay, this is her little life here, and somehow I have to tell her story using the planets. And I do feel like this finger of fate, finger of God that comes in and points to Pluto. I mean, it's like an airplane flying in. Whew. It's important on crime charts. It's even important on your natal chart. It's important, okay? It's an important thing. Okay, so we'll take it out to 15 miles and 26 miles. I gotta make my circle bigger. So that means she could be found within these mile markers or up to. So I don't think we could go past 26 miles for a body, a location, okay? I don't want to say body location, but technically that's what we're looking for. Technically that's what we're trying to find, is where her physical body is, okay? Whether it's alive or not alive, okay? I'm trying to be as polite as possible here. What was Saturn at? What degree was Saturn? Hold on. Saturn was at 13. So what's interesting to me is that my AC line, which rules the victim, is at 13. And this planet here rules the physical body. And that is at 13 as well. So we'll go out 15, 13 miles. I'll put little marks for that. They won't be too far apart. And then 26 miles at the most. Yeah, I gotta make it bigger. Hold on. I know it seems like really far out, but it's how the astrology says she won't be past this point, okay? So that's why we have to push it out. Are you saying the chart can't tell past 26 miles? You're finding within a 26 miles. Basically what I feel the astrology is telling us is that she's not going to be, that she could possibly be found at the 15-mile marker, the 13-mile marker, or the 26-mile marker. But I would not go past 26 miles at the most, okay? And then at the least, it could be 1.5 miles, 15 miles, 1.3 miles, 13 miles, and then 2.6 miles to 26 miles. I hope that makes sense. So this big one, the astrology is saying that she wouldn't be, no evidence of her or the people who, okay, if she was kidnapped, all right, if she was kidnapped, that the kidnappers wouldn't go past the 26-mile marker. That if she was taken, she wouldn't probably go past the 26-mile marker. I hope that makes sense. So we could have these maps map out where a killer could be, where a killer works, where a killer frequents, okay, like a favorite fishing spot, a favorite place that they hang out, you know, a town that they're, you know, because you'll start to see it starts to like map out towns and stuff, areas that show up. Like here, Conkin Town is right on the line. Falls Branch is right on the line. So, and it takes me along the river as well. Sorry, I get really quiet when I do this because I'm trying to like really focus. I have ADD brain so bad, guys. It's hard for me to focus and keep my eye on the chat. All right, so this is the 15-mile marker. Crap, did I just erase that one line? Wait a second. Let me double check it. That other little mile marker is when they went to Warrior Park. So I'm going to take it to 15. Trying to get it to center. Sorry, guys, I get real quiet. All right, I do want to figure out which planet takes me to that Warrior State Park. So let me get my AC line in. So we're going to start mapping out this, okay? We're going to map out the AC line and the DC line. Why? Because the AC line rules the victim, and the DC line rules an open enemy to our victim, okay? So let's get those lines in now. And this is when you got to get your piece of paper out because you got to do math, okay? So I'm really sorry, guys. I don't interact with the chat so much when I'm doing this. So please talk to each other and while I'm trying to do the math, okay? So that's going to take me to 180 degrees. And then I'm going to add 13 to that, okay? $193. All right, so then we go up here to this. Make sure we're on the right settings. I gotta get real close because write down Libra. Okay, and remember that we want it to look like this. We're mapping this out, all right? But when you put it in the planets, it's in reverse, all right? So it's going to be in reverse. Just remember that. And if I have to come back in and make it neater, I will. So I need to find 193 degrees, guys. And I always take it out a little bit farther. To like a highway, like to a main, like I'll take it out a little bit farther to like a highway or a river, like a main, like or a town, something like that. I'll just follow through with it. Okay, so this is going to be 13 degrees. So let me mark. AC line. Okay. You guys doing okay in here? I love you guys. Thanks for being here while I do this. This time I won't accidentally delete it. Okay, so 13 degrees is my DC line. So that rules the enemy to summer. It's not, you know, if I'm thinking 1.3 miles, 13 miles, that's the line of an enemy. Let me get up close. But it's at 13 degrees as well. You guys doing okay in here? Just checking on you. Thank you, guys. Okay, 13 miles, 13 degrees. I got to get it right under. Because I want to get it, I want to take the mile marker, no, not the mile marker, the degree of the planet right over top of her house. Like, I'm really trying to get, I want it to shoot out from on top of her house. Does that make sense? $13 degrees. Sorry, I get real quiet, guys. Because if I move my hand just a little bit, it messes up. And then I got to delete it and go back all the way in. It's really touchy. It's really a touchy program. I mean, I will get better at this, guys. You know, the more and more maps that I do, I'll get better. I mean, I'm not going to be as good as the queen of astrology. I'll never be as good as Kirsty. Like, I bow down to her. I'm like, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do maps as good as her. But I'm trying. I mean, I think it takes time. This is kind of like an art, kind of like you get a feel for it in a way. Because you're using two hands at the same time when you do this. Because you have to hold the thing down and then pull it out. Maybe if I had a mouse, it would be better. Because this is just like a laptop mouse. All right, I'm going to take it out to past the river here to this highway. Aquarius rules highway bridges, railroad bridges, things like that. Mount Carmel. Anything that's got water going underneath of it, fresh water. We found another, I just found out, you know, I've kind of been telling you guys because we have this whole Pisces element. We're going to have a lot of victims this year up into 2025 of people going missing without their shoes on. And it's a clue, okay? Whenever you hear a victim this year and up into 2025 going missing without their shoes on, it's a clue from the universe because Saturn is in Pisces right now. That means there's going to be a lot of people in the water and people go missing without their shoes on, all right? The beginning of it, when Saturn first went into Pisces, was when the little boy from Alabama, the little autistic boy from Alabama went missing. And he didn't have shoes on. That was the first time when Saturn really went into Pisces. Saturn rules your feet. I'll show you. I'm sorry, Pisces rules your feet. See here? Pisces. It rules the feet, guys. So right now, Saturn, which rules the whole physical body, is in the sign of Pisces until 2025. So a lot of people are going to be going missing without their shoes on. And if they are missing their shoes, I would really pay attention to it, because it is a clue. It's part of the astrology. And unfortunately, Pisces is Poseidon. He rules freshwater ways. Okay. All right, so the next one we're going to do is the IC line, which is at 15 degrees. Let me put in here DC. Yeah, and another thing, since I am still learning, if I don't know an answer, I will find someone who can answer your question. Like, I'll ask someone to help me if I get overwhelmed, or, you know, if you have a question, and if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer for you, okay? You guys just have to remember that I'm still, like, on a learning curve. That's all. But I do know a lot. Yeah, that's why your feet are always hurting, Brooke. You got it. Actually, Brooke, you have a double whammy, because you're a Sagittarius, which rules like your inner thighs and your legs. And then I can remember when I did your astrology chart, you have something with Aquarius, which can be like your ankles. And then you had Pisces is really strong in your chart. So when you want to know about your health, we look at the second house. We look at the sixth house, the 8th house, and the 12th house can indicate any health problems that you might have. Basically, when you want to know about your health, you want to look for Saturn as well. Whatever house Saturn is sitting in, that's usually where you will also have medical conditions. So we look at certain houses on people's natal charts. If I'm trying to figure out somebody's medical, so I will look at the second house, see what planets are there, and see what sign is ruling it, okay? And then I'll look at the 6th house, because this rules health. And then we look at the 8th house for your, you know, for like health as well. And the 12th house can be like things that might start to bother you when you get older, in your older age. And then we look to find where Saturn is. So Saturn can rule like the ankles as well. So yeah, blood clots, circulation through the legs, that can be Aquarius as well. But I can remember with Brooke, yeah, she has feet and leg issues. Leg issues in general. Yeah. Hey, Lauren, it's good to see you, hun. Sorry if I'm... Hey, Tennessee volunteer. Sorry if I'm missing any of you guys coming in. I'm really focusing on the chart. Hey, Amy, it's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. How are you, darling? Okay, so, all right. Very good to see everyone. All right. So now I'm doing the IC line, which is 50. Oh, my glasses. 15. And 15 degrees with 270. So that's 5, 8, 2 degrees, 285 degrees, okay? For my IC line. So this is the 3 o'clock chart, guys, when I really feel like summer gets in a little bit of trouble, okay? And I will do the 911 chart as well, but I'm just really curious to see what the 3 o'clock chart looks like compared to the 6:30 p.m. chart. Mostly it's the moon that's going to move the most. The moon and the sun are going to move the most. Mercury kind of moves quick too. So, like the planets, you kind of have to know how the planets move, the speed of them. Okay. 285. I'm trying to get it right over top of Summer's house. $285 degrees, and then I'll push it out to like a landmark. I'm gonna take it out to like this highway here. Now, there is a suspect that, again, I'm not gonna like blow anybody up here on YouTube, but there is a suspect that I've been working on with Missy, and he's on this line. He lives right on this line. And actually, I'll show you kind of... I'm not going to point out where his house is, because if I do point it out, you'll figure out where he is. I'm just going to tell you... I'm going to kind of point in a general direction. There's a suspect that I've been working on with Missy from the other astrologer. And I'm just going to tell you this, okay? He lives on this line. And this line right here goes through his front door and out his back door and into his backyard. He's up on top of a hill. That's all I'm going to say. And he's on one of these main lines. He's on a mile marker. I'm not going to tell you which mile marker that he's on. But the mile marker goes right through his house, okay? And like the line goes through his front door and out his back door and into his backyard. So the line goes like, it's on a curve. So the way that his house is, it like... I'm not telling... I'm pointing to a line, but that does not mean that that's the line that he lives on. He lives on one of these lines, though, okay? And the line goes through his front door, out his back door, and into his backyard. And he lives on a lot of land, okay? That's all I'm going to say. And he is someone that we've been interested in because he shows up on the astrology. And he does have a record for being violent. He's not a pedophile. There's another pedophile that... one of the planets go through. There is a pedophile that's in the first house of Summer. So I'm really interested in any suspects that show up in the first house for Summer. Okay? He shows up in the first house at 20 degrees of Libra. And his house shows up on a planet. And same thing. Goes right through his front door and out to his backyard. And it really freaks me out. And he shows up in the first house. That's another suspect that I'm very curious about, who is a pedophile. That's all I'm going to say. They are a registered sex offender, and they are mapping out on the map, and they are mapping out on the astrology for Summer. Okay, so now we're going to start doing planets, now that I got these lines in. Okay, so you guys can see. We just did these main lines right here. These darker lines. That's what we just mapped out, okay? So that's what we just mapped out. Okay. I have to turn my light on up here. All right, so let's map out Summer, which on this chart, she's Venus. She's at 16 degrees. So summer is Venus on this chart at 3 o'clock. So this represents summer right here. With at home or with family. She's at her house, possibly. Okay, 16 degrees. Allegedly, all right. So did you guys hear that there was some type of sighting of summer? What do you guys think about that? Have you heard anything about that? Oh, thanks for stopping by, Amy. You know you're always we miss you. We don't get to see you too much. I know you haven't been feeling well, so I'm glad that you're here, honey. How are you feeling? Are you feeling better? Oh, you're a Sagittarius? So is Brooke. So you're being ruled by Jupiter too, Tennessee volunteer. Oh no, the Sagittarians are great. They're the life of the party. Sagittarians are great. You know, you guys are big like Jupiter. I love watching Jupiter. I watch Jupiter all the time. Like I watch Jupiter orbit because he keeps the asteroid belt in check. I'll just sit there and like I pull up NASA, and I'm such a dork. I'm such a dork. I just sit there and stare at Jupiter for like 2 hours sometimes, just watching it, like how it moves all of the how it keeps our asteroid belt in check. I did a short on it not so long ago. Here. I love Jupiter. It's one of my favorite planets. Look at it. Look at Jupiter go, Tennessee. Here's Jupiter. Right here, this big guy. He keeps all of the asteroid belt in check. Look at that. Look at Jupiter work. That's Jupiter. He's a busy guy. Which is why, you know, he's got a big ego. He represents Jesus, God, you know, Zeus. Also the wine god. I forget the wine god's name. Begins with a D. He's always like the highlight of the party. You never have a dull moment if you work with someone that's a Sagittarius. Very theological, philosophy, religion, faith, truth. You know, you will speak your truth. You will be blunt about it, and you tell people how it is. Sometimes people can't handle a Sagittarius because you just shoot from the hip. You're very blunt. But you're truthful. Sometimes people need to hear that shit, even though they don't want to hear it. You know? I hope that makes sense. Damn right. Yeah, me too, Amy. Yep, Saggies. You guys are special folks. You sure are, Brooke. Yeah, Brooke is very spiritual. She has the 9th house. Her sun signs in the 12th house like me. So we're like little psychic sponges, you know? So she's a Sagittarius in the 12th house. Her sun signs in the 12th house. And she has a Pisces moon. So Brooke is very much so an empath, okay? I would say she's damn near psychic. I would not doubt that she's got some psychic abilities. She's got that Pisces where she feels everything. She just feels everything, that Pisces moon. Okay, so where am I at? Summer is Venus, so 16 degrees. $16 plus $90. So that takes me to 106 degrees for summer. All right, so this line is going to represent summer on the chart. This is at 3 o'clock. Remember, this is a different chart from the 911 chart. This is at a different time. This is me going back in time. All right, a little bit earlier in the day. Before, I think it's right when shit's about to hit the fan for her, honestly. I just feel like this is when things are not good for her. It's starting to not get good for her, basically. As far as the astrology is concerned, allegedly, okay? I know people get upset, but I'm trying to tiptoe around everything here. Okay. My dog's behind me having a nightmare, so I gotta wake her up. Hold on. Daisy. 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 It's okay. Honey, you're just having a bad dream. It's okay. It's all right. You're having a nightmare. She has really bad nightmares. She's a rescued pit bull, so I got her from a fighting ring. She still has horrible nightmares. Okay, there's 106. I'm going to take it out to like a landmark. I'm going to push it out. I'll push it out to this highway. Because highway bridges are Aquarius. Especially if they have water going underneath of them. It takes me out past Falls Branch. I mean, this is me pushing it way out, guys, okay? All right, the next planet I want to map out is the open enemy to summer, which is Mars. So they are 2 degrees. So this is summer. Venus. So I'll mark it as summer Venus because she's being ruled by Venus here. So summer does a dance between Mars and Venus all day, okay? There's a dance between Mars and Venus, and they're close. They ride each other, and they dance back and forth with each other. So we follow these planets throughout the day to track our victim, to track our killer, to track what happened, okay? A kidnapper, an open enemy, okay, to the victim. All right, so they are at 120 degrees at 2. So that's 122 degrees. And that's Mars. Mars can also rule a vehicle, a car, something sharp, a weapon, a gun, a knife, things like that as well. So it can also be a weapon line as well. I'm not saying that a weapon was used on summer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if there was a weapon and we wanted to find out where a weapon could be hiding or If somebody did hide a weapon, we usually look for Mars and map out Mars, okay? But right now, Mars is an open enemy to summer. And if you look, this open enemy to summer goes right down to Pluto, which can be a vehicle. And there's that opposition from Mars to Pluto. And Mars is hot as well. Yeah. Maybe I'm mapping this out too early. I don't think I'm mapping it out too early because this is when Capricorn is in Pluto. So I really wanted to see where the planets sit because of this. Pluto and Capricorn. That is, I'm sorry, but that's, you know, a person is in a lot of trouble here, and that's on the physical body, okay? So that's really why I wanted to map this out, because I feel like she's in trouble here. Big trouble, okay? All right. 122. You guys doing okay? I'm sorry I'm not so talkative. I get really quiet when I do this. Is everybody okay in chat? I hope you guys are okay. So this rules an open enemy to summer. And look, it takes us right through. Like the back of the neighbors' houses. Taking it out to the highway here. Okay, so let's zoom in on that. Because Mars, or Venus is summer, Mars is the open enemy, and let's zoom in on that. So during the 911 call, when I map out the moon, it's gonna map out here, which the moon is another second indicator of Candace and Summer. It's the two of them together. It's the mom. It represents three things on a crime chart. Okay, remember this is a crime chart. All right. So the moon rules a child under 5 and under. It also represents a mother in a child's chart, 5 and under. And it also can be both mother and daughter, and is a second indicator of where a missing person can be. So I would really like to, I'm curious about who lives in these houses. Not that I'm saying that they did anything, but they could have seen something, right? I mean, this just gave me one pie that I would love to be able to search this area right through here. All right, now let me try to do the moon, because I know the moon is going to show me something else. All right, bring up the chart again. All right, here's the moon. The moon's at 25 degrees, okay? So, I keep losing my damn pen. I'm trying to write all this down just in case I go wrong, so I have my notes. Okay, so the moon also represents Summer and the mom. And it can be a second indicator of where we might find someone. Anything that's missing. So that's 20, 100 plus 20 plus 25. 145. I'm trying not to get it to connect to the other dots because then it gets kind of confusing. You can kind of see. Oh, crap. Shit, wrong line. I'll go back and correct that later. I'll have to clean it up later. Okay. So, those 3 lines right there are very important at 3 o'clock. Really would like to know these areas inside this circle here is very important as well. These areas here. Get you guys close. I gotta do the line again. So that takes me to the corner of her yard there too. I'll come back in and clean these lines up better, but you can kind of see all here. Right through here. I'm gonna clean these lines up. So I'll probably come back in and do another video later with cleaner lines. It's probably gonna push the lines out a little bit farther. So we're probably looking at this line coming out a little farther, maybe this line too, but you kind of get the gist of it. I really am interested in areas that are on these lines. In between here. Even the cemetery over here. Here. I don't know who lives here, but it'd be interesting if they remember seeing Candace that day. Well, let me just redo these 3 lines. I should just try to clean them up. "106. Okay. "106 is Venus. And then this line was 145, was the moon, I believe. This is 122. What the heck? Where'd that line come from? These lines are going crazy on me. All right, I'm going to take summer all the way out to the highway here. Okay. You guys can tell this takes a long time, right? My AC line was 193. just want to get the lines as clean as possible. So this is the open enemy to summer. This means that somebody could come in from this direction. They could live or work over here if there is an open enemy to summer. This could be an area that they frequent, or they could know people in this area. Time and time again, we find some type of connection to an open enemy on these lines. I wonder if Neptune would take me up to Warrior's Path. I'm trying to map out Neptune next. Okay. All right, I want to look at Neptune, see where Neptune's at. (23°). So Neptune, this is what the next one we're going to do is Neptune right here, 23°, okay? And then we'll take a break, and then I'll come back on tomorrow, because I don't want this to be too long. I know it takes forever. So that takes me to 3, 5, 3. So 353 degrees. You guys doing okay? I'm really sorry I'm not talking so much with the chat. I'm really behind in chat. Yeah, how Allie knew about Summer's disappearing. Yeah, I know you guys want me to do a spirit box session on Allie. I will. I will. I'll talk to my spirits about it. I will do that. 23, so 353. $353. Damn it. Trying to see which planet takes me out to the, before we go, I want to see which planet takes me out to Warrior State Path. A wound that never heals. Let's see the DC line. Jupiter. It's either Jupiter or Saturn. Let me try Saturn. Saturn's an important one to map out. So Saturn is at 13 degrees. Plus 300. So it's 313 degrees. 313. Saturn represents the physical body. That's kind of why I really want to get Saturn put in here. The moon as well can be a second indicator. There's more than one line represents physical body, an open enemy. So all these lines are important and they all play a role. And honestly, you know, there's certain lines that should be searched. 313. No, see, that's taking me someplace else. But we still need to map out Saturn. I'm going to take this out to the river, this main river here. Okay, so that is mapping out an area where a suspect lives. Again, an area that I'm curious about. That's weird. That's mapping out right in front of his house. That's crazy. Okay, I'm still trying to find Warrior's Path. Maybe it's Uranus. So I'm trying to get me over to here. Let me try Uranus. Uranus is at 13 degrees. And 30 degrees. So it takes me to 43 degrees. I'm just really curious. I really want to see which planet takes me over to Warrior's Path. 43 degrees. Just going to take it right by this river. This is Uranus. And then I'll put Saturn in real fast. I want to do one more line with you guys. Sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really trying to get over to Warrior's Path. I want to see which planet takes me there. But I don't want to get lost. So here's Saturn. We'll just do one more line. I think I should do Jupiter. Maybe Mercury or Jupiter. I should do the sun. Let's see where the sun takes me. 24 degrees is the sun. At 120 degrees. It's 144. And then we'll go. I'm sorry to keep you guys. I'm really sorry. I just really want to see which planet takes me over to the park that day. Takes me to that Warrior State Park. 144 degrees is the sun. It's taking me too low. That's crazy that the sun is right on the lines too. The neighborhood. It's making another pie, the sun. And the sun represents a father in a chart, an older male, older than 30, older than 28 years old, older than 29. Can be a father figure, somebody in charge. So between the sun and the moon, between 3 and 6, it is mapping out the neighborhood. I mean, because at the 6:30 chart, when 911 is called, it maps out this area here. That's pretty crazy, guys. It's going right through Ben Hill Road. Right smack dab in the middle of it. And this line can rule Don, a father figure, someone older than 29 years old. What the hell? So on the 911 chart, the moon does this. The moon is like right here. And Mars is like right here. It's definitely a prime location on both charts. All right, well, I'm going to try to figure out how to get to the, figure out which planet takes me over to the park. Because here's the park. So it might be, I was thinking it was Neptune that might take me to the park, but it might be Chiron, a wound that never heals. Or maybe I'll just map out the 7th house and see if it takes me to the park, which rules the open enemy to summer. Because then it kind of makes me feel like, did she run into someone at the park? Did we do Pluto? It's another one I want to do. All right, so I will touch base with you guys again. Remember the first news the parents were on? Candace said if she was around, that wouldn't have happened or something. Yeah. Hi, Karina. It's good to see you. Hope I'm saying your name right. Hello, darling. It's good to see you. Yeah, welcome. You're always welcome here, sweetie. Always. I'm just checking back. Yeah, Kirsty's book is not that expensive, guys. And, you know, we could do this together. We could all do this together. Get her book. We could have a Kirsty McIntosh book club. I need to buy another book because, like, it's falling apart. I've really worn it out. She has a lot of little products on Amazon. She has another book that I want to get. I keep forgetting to get it. It's only $19, and it's a nice notebook. It's a beautiful notebook on Amazon, where you can get charts. I'll show you. Let me see if I can find my Amazon account. You just pull up her name. And look, she has a lot of little products here, guys. She has a journal for your research notes. She has blank charts. And this is only $10. $13 to figure out how to read crime charts. $14. I mean, she has really good prices, guys. So I want to get this, and I want to get this next. I really want to get this. So yeah, she's very talented. She's a really wonderful person. I you know, really like her. I like reading her book, and you know, learned a lot just from reading her. I feel like Kirsty is the meat and potatoes of astrology. Then you work your way up to then you get another book like this one. and this goes into more detail. But like, I would definitely start off with learning astrology first. Like, start off with a book like this first. Sorry, it's dark here. Now, it's already got dark. The stars are within you. Start off with a book like that. And then are like, you know, learn how to read your basic natal chart, and then do your family's natal chart, and then get Kirsty's book. And then work your way up to there. Val Evans has a book. You know, she breaks down the charts in great detail. She's like sprinkles on a cupcake, okay? Like, and then I really like this book because she goes into, like, tells me the cities, where cities are and stuff. Like, which planet represents a certain city or a certain area. Kirsty's does too. Kirsty's does it a little bit as well. You know, and then it goes into like the directions, each direction of each planet. So yeah, her prices are very reasonable, guys. You won't be disappointed. Okay, it's a good investment. All right, so I'm going to save this map for now and try to clean it up and try to figure out which house or which planet takes me over to the park. I know the 911 chart does take me here. I know that the 911 chart does take me here. I really hope I'm doing the right time because this is a lot of work. But I wanted to do a chart for when I feel like summer starts to get in trouble, okay? So, you know, we have the 6:30 chart, and this is the 3 o'clock chart, okay? And the lines are going to kind of like be right next to each other. It's really weird. But I am very interested in this location here. I really am. I just feel like somebody knows something in here. In this area here, somebody knows something, okay? And it is mapping out two suspects, where two suspects live. And it's taking me right out to this river. There are parts in this river that I have been curious about. Miller Bluff, Long Shoals, Miller Island. The line of Saturn takes me right to the river. Do you see that? Oops. The line of Saturn takes me right to the river. Sorry, you guys got frozen. So I am curious about this river here. Hunt Creek, Hunt Gap, Hordes Island, Christian's Island, the bend here, this bend. I mean, I could push these lines out through this river. Okay, so I'll be back in touch tomorrow to finish up the maps. I'm gonna head out. I know this is really long and tedious. But you know, so we're gonna finish up the 3 o'clock chart, and then we'll do the 6:30 chart. Okay, so it's a lot of work. All right, thanks guys for being here. Please remember to leave a like. I love you all. Take care of one another. Be good to one another. Blessings to you all. Bye-bye now.